All right, folks, buckle up, because today we're tackling a topic
Oh, yeah.
that's not just academically stimulating.
Right.
It's a potential gold mine for your UPSC mains exams.
Absolutely.
And hey, who knows?
Yeah.
It might even sneak into prelims.
You never know.
We're talking about the clash of the titans
Oh, yeah.
in Indian higher education, the University Grants Commission,
The UGC.
or UGC, versus the state governments.
Right, a classic power struggle.
They're locked in a power struggle
Yeah.
over who gets to choose the vice chancellors,
Huge.
the VCs,
Yeah.
who essentially run our state universities.
It's a fascinating tug of war, and believe me,
Right.
the stakes are high.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about it.
Yeah.
This isn't just some bureaucratic squabble.
No.
This conflict directly impacts the future of our universities.
Absolutely.
The quality of education, research output,
Right.
and ultimately the nation's progress.
The nation's progress, exactly.
Mhm.
Here's where it gets interesting for you.
Okay.
Our aspiring IAS officers.
All right.
This clash highlights a fundamental tension in our federal system.
Oh, for sure.
On one side,
Okay.
you have the UGC flexing its regulatory muscles,
Those muscles?
aiming to standardize academic excellence across the country.
Right, across the board.
They point to their 2018 regulations,
Mm-hmm.
specifically Regulation 7.3,
Okay.
which mandates a UGC nominee on the committees that select VCs.
So they want to say.
They want a say in the process.
Yeah, makes sense.
The UGC's argument is that they're trying to ensure a certain level of quality control.
Mm-hmm.
They want to avoid situations where VC appointments are influenced by
Right.
local politics or personal
Oh,
biases.
not that.
They're striving for a meritocratic system
Yeah,
where academic credentials are paramount.
makes sense. I mean,
Sounds reasonable on the surface, right?
on the surface, yeah, absolutely.
But several states are crying foul,
Oh, really?
arguing that the UGC is overstepping its bounds.
Interesting.
They contend that their own state university acts, laws passed by their legislatures,
Right.
should govern VC appointments.
They want the power to decide.
They see the UGC's involvement as a direct infringement on their autonomy,
I see.
a threat to the very principles of federalism.
A threat to federalism, okay?
And this isn't just a war of words.
Oh, no.
This clash has real-world consequences.
Okay.
Several states, including Tamil Nadu,
Wow. Big states.
Kerala,
Yeah.
and Punjab,
Yeah.
are facing leadership vacuums in their universities because of this standoff.
So there are real consequences.
Imagine being a student in one of these universities. Crucial decisions are delayed.
I bet.
Faculty appointments are stalled.
Uh-huh.
Research projects are in limbo.
That's a problem.
It's a recipe for chaos.
Yeah, I see that.
And this chaos has the potential to ripple outwards,
Wow.
impacting the quality of education,
All right.
research output,
Yeah.
and even the career prospects of students.
It's a big...
Because this isn't just an abstract legal debate. It's a real-world problem with tangible consequences.
Real consequences, for sure.
Now, to understand the legal complexities of this battle,
Yeah.
we need to dive into the Indian Constitution,
All right. The Constitution.
specifically Article 2541,
Okay.
which deals with conflicts between central and state laws.
That's a key article.
Think of the Indian Constitution as the rule book for our democracy.
The rule book, I like that.
Article 2541 lays down the ground rules.
Okay.
When there's a clash between a law passed by the parliament,
Right, the central government.
the central government, and a law passed by a state legislature.
Got it.
And in this case,
Mm-hmm.
we have a clash between UGC regulations,
Okay.
which are technically not laws passed by the parliament,
Right.
but rather regulations framed by the UGC,
So delegated legislation.
and state university acts,
Right.
which are laws passed by the respective state legislatures.
Okay, so two different types of laws.
And here's the catch.
Okay, I'm listening.
Article 254 clearly states that if there's a conflict between a central law and a state law on a subject that falls under the concurrent list,
Yeah.
a list of subjects where both the center and states can make laws,
Both can make laws, yeah.
the central law prevails.
Okay, so the central law wins.
However,
Oh,
there's a nuance here that throws a wrench into the works.
okay.
This supremacy of central law applies only to plenary laws passed by Parliament,
Right.
not to delegated legislation like the UGC regulations.
This is not so simple.
Let me try to break this down for our listeners.
Okay, good idea.
Imagine the Parliament as the supreme authority,
Mm-hmm.
making the big overarching laws.
The big picture stuff.
Now, sometimes the parliament delegates some of its lawmaking power to other bodies,
Right.
like the UGC,
To the experts.
to frame specific rules and regulations within a broader framework.
To fill in the details.
These are what we call delegated legislation.
Makes sense.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, can these delegated legislations, like the UGC regulations,
Yeah.
override state laws?
Good question.
The answer,
Nah.
unfortunately,
Oh, yeah.
isn't straightforward.
This is getting complicated.
It's like we're in this legal gray area
Oh, yeah.
where the lines get blurred,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the Supreme Court comes in.
The big guns.
We often look to the judiciary to interpret the law and provide clarity.
Right. The final word.
But in this case, the Supreme Court's rulings had added more fuel to the fire.
Oh, how so?
Think of it like this.
Okay.
You have two teams,
All right.
the UGC and the states,
Got it.
both with strong arguments,
Mm-hmm.
and the Supreme Court is the referee trying to make the call.
Okay.
But the problem is,
Yeah.
the referee has been giving conflicting signals.
Oh, no. That's not good.
Some Supreme Court judgments have sided with the UGC,
Okay.
stating that their regulations on VC appointments are mandatory for all universities,
Including state universities.
including state universities.
Wow.
But then you have other judgments where the court has taken a different stance,
Interesting.
saying that these UGC guidelines are merely advisory for state universities,
So not mandatory.
unless specifically adopted by the state.
They have a choice.
It's like the court is saying,
Okay.
okay, UGC, you can make suggestions,
Right.
but ultimately, it's up to the states to decide if they want to play by your rules.
It's their call.
And to make things even more confusing,
Oh, no. Even more confusing.
there are landmark cases that support both sides of the argument.
Oh, wow.
For instance,
Okay.
cases like Kinchi Tikaramji v. State of Uttar Pradesh
I know that one.
and Indian Express Newspapers v. Union of India
Yeah, another classic.
have upheld the principle that delegated legislation cannot override a law passed by Parliament.
So that's a point for the states.
This seemingly strengthens the state's position,
Mm-hmm.
but then you have more recent cases,
More recent. Okay.
like Annamala University v. Secretary, Tourism,
Mm-hmm.
and Kalyani Madhavan and V.K.V. Jairaj, where the court's interpretation seems to contradict this established principle,
Oh, so now it's unclear again.
creating more uncertainty.
A lot of uncertainty.
So we have this legal seesaw
Back and forth.
with judgments swinging back and forth,
I see.
leaving everyone a bit bewildered.
I can imagine.
And while legal experts debate the finer points of constitutional law,
Right.
the real question is,
Yeah, what does this mean?
what does this mean for our universities?
Yeah, good question.
A lack of clarity has created a climate of uncertainty,
Mhm.
leading to administrative paralysis in many state universities.
They're stuck.
Imagine being a VC in this situation.
Oh, yeah. Tough spot.
You're appointed by the state,
Okay.
but the UGC is breathing down your neck,
Right.
and the legal landscape is constantly shifting.
Always changing.
It's a recipe for inaction and indecision.
Yeah. How can you make a decision?
And the biggest losers in all of this are the students.
Oh, of course.
They're the ones who bear the brunt of this stalemate. Delays in crucial decisions impact everything from faculty recruitment
Oh, yeah.
to infrastructure
That's
development
right.
to the timely awarding of degrees.
Big problems for students.
This issue goes beyond administrative hassles.
Okay.
It has a profound impact on the quality of education and research.
It affects everything.
When universities are caught in a web of legal battles and administrative roadblocks,
They can't function.
their core functions suffer.
Yeah. See that.
This is where things get really interesting,
Oh, really?
especially for our UPSC aspirants.
Okay. Tell me more.
This conflict raises fundamental questions about the balance of power in our federal system.
Oh, yeah. The big picture stuff.
If the UGC can dictate terms to state universities,
That's a lot of power.
what does that mean for the autonomy of states?
Where does the power lie?
Where do we draw the line between national standards and regional flexibility?
It's a tough question.
These are the kind of questions that policymakers grapple with,
The big question.
and the answers are rarely straightforward.
It's never easy.
There are valid arguments on both sides.
I can see that.
The UGC's push for uniform standards
Yeah.
aims to ensure quality and accountability.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They want to make sure that a degree from a university in Tamil Nadu
Right.
holds the same weight as a degree from a university in Maharashtra.
That's fair.
And that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I agree.
We need a system that ensures a certain level of quality and consistency across the country.
Definitely.
But the states also have a valid point.
Okay, what's their point?
They argue that they're in a better position to understand the unique needs and challenges of their regions.
That's true.
They need the flexibility to tailor their education systems to those specific needs.
Right. One size doesn't fit all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not about one side being right and the other wrong.
Yeah, all right.
It's about finding that sweet spot,
Okay.
that delicate balance between national aspirations and regional autonomy.
That's the key.
And that, my friends, is the essence of good governance.
Good governance. Exactly.
And for you, our dedicated UPSC aspirants,
Yeah.
this entire debate is a treasure trove of insights.
It's a gold mine.
It's a classic case study in Indian federalism,
Mm-hmm.
constitutional law,
Yeah.
the role of the judiciary, and the challenges of governance in a diverse democracy.
Big stuff.
Imagine this scenario playing out in your mains exam.
Oh, yeah, the exam.
You get a question about the evolving nature of federalism in India,
Right.
or perhaps a question about the challenges facing higher education.
Okay.
This UGC state tussle is a perfect example to illustrate your points.
A real-world example.
It's not just about regurgitating facts.
Yeah.
It's about demonstrating your understanding of the complexities,
Yeah.
the competing interests,
Right.
and the potential solutions.
The solutions are key.
So what are some possible solutions?
Yeah, what can we do?
Well,
Okay.
the most obvious one is a clear and unambiguous ruling from a constitutional bench of the Supreme Court.
So we need the Supreme Court to step in.
We need the highest court in the land to step in and settle this debate about Article 25411
Okay.
and the scope of delegated legislation.
That would provide some clarity.
It's like we need a definitive judgment that sets a precedent,
Uh-huh.
a clear roadmap for how these conflicts should be resolved in the future.
A roadmap. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
But beyond the legal solution,
Okay.
there's also a need for a more collaborative approach.
Collaboration, right?
The UGC could move away from a top-down,
Yeah.
dictatorial style of functioning
Not very collaborative.
and adopt a more consultative and cooperative approach with the states.
Working together.
Instead of imposing their will,
Yeah.
the UGC could focus on setting broad guidelines,
Okay.
best practices,
Mm-hmm.
and perhaps even incentivize states to adopt them.
So a carrot instead of a stick.
They can work with state universities to identify their unique strengths and challenges
Okay.
and offer tailored support.
A more customized approach. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about fostering a sense of partnership,
Partnership. That's the key.
recognizing that both the UGC and the states have a shared goal
A common goal.
to improve the quality of higher education in India.
Yeah. Everyone wants that.
This is where the concept of cooperative federalism comes into play.
Cooperative federalism. I like that.
It's about recognizing that the center and the states are not adversaries,
Right.
but partners in nation building.
Working together.
And this applies not just to education,
Oh, yeah.
but to a whole range of policy areas.
It's a broader principle. Remember
Now,
that.
the UPSC exam isn't just about testing your knowledge.
It's more than that.
It's about assessing your ability to think critically,
Yeah.
to analyze complex issues,
Mm.
and to come up with well-reasoned solutions.
Good solution.
So as you prepare for your exams,
Yeah.
think beyond the textbooks.
Don't just memorize.
Engage with real-world issues,
Right.
analyze different perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
and formulate your own opinions.
Think for yourself.
And on that note, let's leave you with a thought-provoking question.
A question to ponder.
If you were tasked with designing a system to govern universities in India,
Uh-huh.
how would you balance the need for national standards with the importance of state autonomy?
That's a tough one.
It's a tough question,
Yeah.
but one that's worth pondering.
Absolutely.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe one of you listening right now will be the one to come up with that perfect solution.
The future policymakers.
Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this deep dive helpful.
Yes, please subscribe.
And a big shout out to the Hindu newspaper,
Our source.
our source for this insightful
And
discussion.
they do great work.
Their in-depth reporting is a valuable resource for any serious UPSC aspirant.
Absolutely.
Until next time,
Okay.
happy studying.
Good luck.